Sanja.
Yo, check it out. It's my girl Sanja.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, what up, Sanja?
Welcome to another episode of Random Ish with Sanja. How you doing? I am really, really good. Don't get me wrong. But a sister's brain, I got smoke coming out my ears. I've actually been thinking. My brain's been working. I'm so excited. So I've told you about the book Manifest Beauty. Final edit is done. It's out. It's on the shelves. I'm like, right? And because of that, I am getting ready to do a trailer, showing a little mind trick that I learned, and getting the store ready and the shows and everything else. And it's just super, super exciting. I've barely slept in the past 2 weeks. The dark circles are real underneath my eyes. And, I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world. I'm just, you guys, it's so happening. It's so happening. It's, it's all happening. Almost Famous, one of my favorite movies. Man, so listen, I've been thinking, with all of this stuff that is going on, it's been a serious journey for me that I am realizing that's the reason why a lot of business owners are slightly crazy, because if you do things yourself, it's so intricate. It's so I haven't even been able to smoke like I normally smoke because I'm like, bitch, don't forget nothing. Dang, I'm feeling real serious here. And you know what? It reminds me of the latest episode. Well, maybe not the latest, but when Kim was cussing out Courtney on the Kardashians, and she's like, well, if you find a passion, you would know what it's like, that you're busy. And I was like, damn, that was harsh, Kim. That was mean. Bitch! Now that I am opening up my store and trying to get all this shit branded together, and I'm like, no, actually, she's right. No, she's right. When you're passionate about something, it does consume you. It does take a lot of your time, and freely. And what's so interesting to me is that I've been in entertainment for almost 20 years now. And, oh damn. I am right now at this moment feeling more alive than I have in a super, super long time. And that has got me wanting to kind of talk about, finding our passions, finding our true selves. And I don't even want to say it like that, finding my true self, because I always knew who I am. But it does seem to be that we go through these phases in life where you're like, nah, bitch, I'm gonna do me. You know what I'm saying? And apparently I'm entering into that phase. So I would like to conversate with another person about entering the phase of, I'm gonna do me, bitch. You know what I'm saying? So welcome our guest, Long Hair Don't Care. Hey.
Hey, guys.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
Good. So, I, as you already heard and know, I'm in my I'ma do me boo phase of life. And when I met you, and you kind of were giving me off that same I'm entering a new phase life. So let them know, so introduce yourself. You don't have to tell them your name or anything like that, but Long Hair Don't Care. I could tell that you're also entering into that phase, of some I'ma do me boo. What's going on with you? How you feeling? What's happening with you?
Currently a lot is going on. Well, a lot for me. It doesn't really look like that much for anybody else.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of the aspect, a lot's going on with you, even though you look, okay on the outside.
Yeah.
But I am not just going through the motions of the day, but instead am finding myself, doing things with a purpose. More of it's not that I need to do this. It's more like I want to do this
Mhm.
because I know I could take those steps to, grow and be
Right.
better and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know if you would consider that to be small, but like going to the gym more, exercising, being
Yeah.
healthy,
Yeah.
actually getting up to find and go do things and progress in life. Like, people who look at other people would like to see from them.
Yeah. You know what I find interesting is that it seems like everybody, I'd like to believe that, I'm one of the consciousness who has pierced the veil.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And that has caused these tricklings to come down where it's like all of us, you know what I mean? I call us misfits, and I feel like when you're walking down the street or when you're, hanging out in the crowd or whatever, even if you look like you have it together, misfits can spot other misfits. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, they can.
Like,
Very
I feel
much.
you. I feel you. You don't hold me down type of person, And I was really kind of, even though as quiet as you were, I feel like I was getting that vibe from you, like a quiet intensity, that I think is such a admirable quality right now, because life gives you a lot of opportunities to like act a fool. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
And whether that be act a fool in voicing in your opinion,
Mm-hmm.
act a fool in just literally acting a fool, acting a fool in your relationships, with your family. Like it just seems to be that there's this something in the air or something that is causing us to kind of start looking down deep within ourselves, and be true to the feeling in our gut, Do you find that it's easier now to be you?
It's difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
But yes, in a sense, yes. And the reason I say that is because I still hold that, like, the fact that, like, other people are looking at me, other people are watching what I'm doing. I have to be well aware of, who I am on the outside.
Yeah.
And I kind of, like, still have that attachment to that outside perception, rather than what it is that is inside.
Yeah, that what's coming from you.
Yeah. So it kind of, it's like, kind of holding you back. It's really difficult. It's like lifting a weight that's, more than what you can handle. You have a lot of food on your plate.
Yo, and what's so funny is because the fact that I could pick up on that angst in you, I know is only because I'm going through that angst myself.
Right.
Because, like, for me, it's been like, how can I say? It's been so crazy that I've always had an outgoing personality, so to speak. And I've always just like, can I please make money off of that? And I did for a long time and made good money, and it was fun and it was wonderful. But then my personality got me into trouble. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't anything I did. You know what I mean? But because of my persona, people assumed that must be who she is. And then I sat out on this like personal mission that I'm going to prove you people wrong, because you never did know that I'm super versatile and that I never want to be locked down in a box, because you might see me smoking a blunt and acting crazy on Tuesday, but on Wednesday I'm in the fucking library studying quantum mechanics. On Thursday I might be hanging out with some bikers. On Friday I might be hanging out with some people who listen to hip hop. Do you understand what I'm saying? And on Saturday I might want to go to the opera. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like fluidity.
Yes.
You're fluid in well, as of recent, I had come to terms with being fluid in a world that's more concrete, that needs things that are material.
Yeah. And when you're in entertainment, especially in entertainment, and I mean, I do feel like it is true in all industries and people in general do it, but when it comes to entertainment, because it's supposed to be put into a nice package.
Yeah.
So Kim Kardashian, that's a sexy bitch. Beyonce, she's a queen bitch who's gonna sing her ass off and dance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
J-Lo, gonna shake her booty. You know what I mean? And she's gonna be in a romantic comedy that's gonna make you go, oh. So it's kind of like there's this branding, you know, that everybody's always talking about. And I've always hated that. I've always hated that.
They,
you know?
They kind of have to have that kind of one label
Mhm.
image
Yeah.
that fits their description and be like, okay, yeah, I could define that.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like shallow. It's kind of like 1D versus 2D or 3D.
You know?
You need, like, it's hard to pin somebody who is multifaceted.
Yes.
Who can be one thing and can be another thing at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like what's so funny is that people used to be like, Sandra, pick one thing.
Yeah.
Sandra, pick one thing. Sandra, pick one thing. And I'd be like, but nobody who's like really doing it is doing one thing. Like if you go and look at anybody who has success, they got like 10 things that they're freaking doing.
Yeah.
Because I used to believe, do the one thing, just do radio. And I did that. And when ish hit the fan, because I had no other resources readily available for me, a bitch ended up on state. You know what I'm saying, got food stamps, had to move back in with my mother. My freaking resume, because it was all entertainment for 15 years, nobody wants to touch a bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
they're like, yeah, you're going to be inciting riots. You're like going to be loud. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So it's been a real ego. How do I have to say? This has been very interesting. I have found my strengths. You know what I'm saying? Like I already knew that I was strong, but this whole past 10 years that I've been going through and having to rebuild has been it's like I really can't put it into words. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The other day I was driving down the street and I saw my old station, one of the stations I used to work for. The owner, he has a couple more stations since I left. Mm-hmm. And I saw a billboard and it was like, for years, because even though I know that I'm a manifester, okay? Even though I know this, I also had a vision before everything went down. So I knew some shit was coming. And when it happened, I was like, okay, well, I knew that this was coming and I was trying to like use the alchemy and like turn it around. Yeah. But there was a very, very large part of me that was just pissed. You know what I mean? And like, how, and that held me for a long time. And it was literally what they thought of me. Like that was the reason that I got canned. Because if you actually knew me, yep, you would have known I never started those fights. I was breaking up the fights. You would have known that whatever I did for, anybody calling the station, it was for the show. And number one DJs were doing the exact same thing that I was doing. I was doing something. So for me, being punished for being myself, it made me question. And unfortunate when that happens, because then people around you might think that you don't know who the fuck you are, when you actually do know. You do know who the fuck you are. It's not that. It's that these motherfuckers are trying to tell you that you can't be who you are. So now you're just trying to figure out, how do I still be me? How do I still stay true, but somehow get in front of you again? It's very
it's very difficult.
Very difficult. And I liken it to people who are, bi, gay, trans, cheating on their spouses. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean cheating on them because they're like doing it out of like spite or whatever, but because like that's just who they are. They need to have more than one person. They're not really in, Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I find solace in all of these different types of people who I feel like we're going through the same shit. It might be a little bit different, like the circumstances, but it's really the same thing.
Yep.
How do we be true to ourselves, and make you and it's funny because it's even hard to even try to explain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because I don't know. Do you feel like you need anybody's approval?
That really depends. Sometimes I do need approval,
Mm-hmm.
and other times I don't really need approval because, like, I know I'm capable of this,
Yeah.
and like feel that I can go out there and actually do something of that sort. But like people who are important to me, like
Yeah.
I consider their approval whenever I go do something,
Yeah.
and that's why I kind of, sometimes half and half, like consult with them
Right.
and like, can I do this? Is this okay?
Yeah.
But like not like in like I don't directly ask a question. I kind of just look at their reactions to what I do.
Right. It's kind of like a bouncing off of sometimes, because something that I find annoying is for when there are people who are close to you
Mhm.
and you're like literally just trying to like, because if you sit in the room, which I do this, I'll sit in the room and just talk to myself so that I can hear the words like out loud.
Yeah.
But that is not as fun as just bouncing it off another person.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I find that sometimes though people will take that as that it means that you don't know what you want, or that you're confused, or that you're seeking their approval or their validation.
Complete opposite.
And it's totally the opposite. It's actually, no, I really am not. I'm just kind of talking it out.
So the thing that I used to do in my room, with like all the objects that I had in my room, I had a conversation with like a picture on the wall, or
Mm-hmm.
or like a random teddy bear that I had when I was a kid. And I would usually hold conversations with them, and sometimes, one person would have a conversation and another one, and I would bounce ideas off of what I would create. And
Right.
and it's because I had that kind of imagination to be like, I can hold this conversation
Mm-hmm.
and kind of bounce off ideas and try to make some more.
Yeah.
But like you said, it would be more interesting if you got other people's ideas.
Yeah.
To bounce off from.
Right. Legit just heard it in my gut, and it's like I'm like pausing because I'm personally salivating and like digesting this information real quick before I spit it out and like say it. But the truth of the matter is that when the reason why we're so awesome, and those people who are like who do have that, which I don't really feel like a lot of people actually do have the cookie cutter thing going on, but they portray that they got the cookie cutter thing going on. But what's so awesome about people like us who are allowing ourselves to be free and to think with ourselves and to have those conversations with ourselves or with inanimate objects is that we're actually talking to source. Like we're actually fucking talking to angels and shit. And so when we're actually talking and then we're hearing like a response or whatnot, like we've been taught that it's just us, that it's you, and if I do that I put my hand through space.
Mm-hmm.
But I know, and scientists know, when I do that, I just put my hand through a whole bunch of shit. You know what I'm saying? And I just caused all kinds of, stuff to now slightly change. And we're all doing that all day long, all day, every day. So we all are affecting one another. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like, so if you really want to get truth, and if you really want to get an answer that's not going to be affected by somebody swinging their damn hand into the matter antimatter, then it would be best if you talk to yourself, because then you're going to be hearing directly from source in your heart with no,
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Filter.
No filter. No. There's no. What the hell is it? Interference? You know what I'm saying? Like that literally just came to me right now as you were talking. That's amazing, mm-hmm. because there are ideas, and specifically with the company Manifest Beauty, right? Mm-hmm. When I heard that, I heard it. Motherfucker, I heard that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not someone, people I think would always kind of liken me to a flake, because I'm not really the type of person. I might have something I want to do. You know what I mean? Okay, well, I want to start this thing, but I'm not going to come out and sit there and have like because I've done that before, where I have like the outline, and then this is what we're going to do, and then this is what we're going to do, and then this is what we're going to do. And it just does not, when I do that, almost all of my plans where I tried to plan it out and that this is what we're going to do and this is what we're going to do, and none of them shits came true. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I planned out where I was like, okay, this is my intention. This is what I want to do. And I might have like a few ideas of some things. You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't it be cool to broadcast? And wouldn't it be cool to have a station that, you know, could be heard around the world? Like, wouldn't it be cool to do that? And then we could do some parties, you know? It's just interesting to me because those things don't happen. But when I leave it open, when I'm just kind of like, oh, you know, it seems like things just kind of fall into place.
Yep.
And it might not be on my timetable. Like it might, you know, I mean, this took 10 fucking years, not for nothing. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? A bitch was desperate in 2009. You know what I'm saying? Like I was desperate then. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it's like, it's pretty damn sweet when everything does come together. And one of the things that I was waiting for is, so my mother is bi. When she turned 40, excuse me, she's not bi, she's gay. She's lesbian. And my daughter is bi. And when I was growing up, so my first boyfriend, I guess is bi because he was with me, but then he ended up marrying. He's actually gay now. He's with a man married. And my best friend, my boyfriend, his sister was my best friend, and then their older brother, Randy, rest in peace, Randy, was my first experience in person of a gay man dying from AIDS. And ever since then, Randy was so fucking nice, and he made and what's so funny is because, you know, since he's consciousness, he knows the impact that he has on me, but I can only imagine that his family and everybody else would not think, you know what I'm saying, that my short ass time that I spent with that man, that it would have such an impact on me. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, I'm gonna fucking cry. Wow. So let's talk just about something. So he made the best fucking spaghetti sauce. He would, oh my God, he would make, he would have the beef and the sausage and the peppers and the onions, and then he put a little sugar in it. And I make my spaghetti sauce just like Randy, you know what I'm saying? For all my life. And, you know, and that boyfriend was not a good, you know, that shit was not a good look. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He was a grown ass man and I was 16, 17. Totally lying about my age. So it was just one of those situations that it just touched me. And there was something about Randy that he would tell me because what had happened was, back in those days, so that was the early 90s, and gangster rap, I grew up in Southern California, and gangster rap was everything. Boys in the Hood was out, you know, Menace to Society. So niggas had this thing where they were kind of treating females like shit. And Randy would be you know, he would say little things to me, you know what I mean? You know, follow your heart, and, you know, one day you're going to grow up and you're going to totally not even think about any of this stuff. You know what I mean? He would just say little things that just was wow. You know, and you know what else? The other reason why I really loved him is because he looked like Freddie Mercury. Okay? He's a mulatto, half black, half white, and he looked like Freddie Mercury, and he was fucking awesome. And with that being said, Randy, when I would let my life go this way, when I would let it go, I'm sorry you can't see me, but when I would let it start going left field, it would be thoughts of him that would, I don't even know why. I don't even know why it affected me like that, but it did. And it would be thoughts of him that would just make me just want to do more with myself, knowing that we have such a short time that we're here. And oh my God, so you died because of sex? It's one of my favorite things to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what? You know what I mean? That is so not cool.
Yeah.
You know? But it definitely was just something that, you know, made me be woke, you know, from an early age. And today, with where we're at, I am so appreciative because I look at the people who are my age around me, and yes, people are starting to be more open now, but it is unbelievable how many people are sleepwalking every day, all day, have accepted their fate, have accepted the man down the street telling them who they are. It's mind-boggling. So let me ask you a question, because I feel like you're probably 10 years younger than me. How old are you?
I'm 23.
I fucking knew it. God damn it, you're actually 20 years younger than me. That's because I'm timeless, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so it's perfect because here's what's funny. So they say that these things, scripture-wise, right? These things follow you to the third and fourth generations, it says. And I was always curious about, like, is that shit true? But then when you look at, like, people's family lineage and stuff, so if your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandpa was a doctor, more than likely everybody in the family is kind of, like, in the medical field and shit like that.
Yep.
And I have always been one that I'm like, I really want to break whatever the F is in my family.
Yes.
Like, I don't want it. It's not that it was bad, you know what I'm saying? But, you know what I mean? I want to do my own thing. I want to live my own life. And what I find so interesting is that my parents' age and my parents' friends, they were like their parents a little bit, even though they're the ones who was at Woodstock and they're the ones who were, you know what I mean, doing the civil rights, and they're the ones who were doing the march and everything like that. But it seems to be that their parents were way more strict, way more in the box, way more accepting that you're a cog in the machine, you know, do what's right for the country, you know what I'm saying? Sacrifice yourself and do whatever you need to do for your family. And then I feel like their kids, which would be my mom and those people, I guess the baby boomers, they were like, you know, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah. And, you know, we want to exercise our own rights. And I feel like that they really started like breaking barriers down. I mean, and don't get me wrong, because my mom's mom era, that would be the era of, so she was born, I think, 1902 or 1906. And I want to say the women's right to vote was 1920-ish. So that would be them. You know what I'm saying? So that would be them when they're, you know, 19, 20, 21 being like, are you fucking kidding me? What do you mean I can't vote? You know what I mean? And, but they still fell in that like box, you know? And then our parents kind of like broke it. And then I feel like my generation, I feel like the 70s, you know, 75, 74, 73, 70s and 80s, you know, early 80s. I feel like, I really feel like we've changed this world. Like, I really feel like we, you know, gangster rap came out, the grunge music came out. I mean, music itself completely changed. Entertainment changed. It was like a, you know, like a bursting out. And what I feel that is so dope, and the reason why I say that with confidence, is because now these 20-year-olds are expecting to, I'm sorry, what you mean I can't be me? Oh, bitch, if I want to twerk my ass and then go, you know, do a freaking speech at a TED Talk, you know what I'm saying? You better not judge me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, and that doesn't happen because one generation, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't happen because the generation who's experiencing it, because you guys did it. No, it was a generation before that, and then it was a generation before that.
Yep.
So I'm really excited to see, like, something I've said seriously. I'm like, yo, you guys think I'm playing, but 3 generations from now, this manifest beauty thing where I'm talking about, where people are knowing who they are, and then like you're just receiving from source, and then you're watching the shit just like appear. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, bro, there's like 2-3 generations, these mofos gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. But there's not gonna be an explanation needed. They're gonna be doing it. Things are gonna be, and that's that AI, I feel like. You know what I'm saying? The automation thing is because people are gonna be like, bitch, You want me to do what? I ain't doing that. I'm over here painting. You know what I mean? I'm painting the fucking galaxy right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm on quadrant M123. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that it's definitely going to be interesting. Do you feel that you're more free to do whatever it is that you want for a living and to be who you are?
Yes, in a sense that that all the civil rights movements, like you said before, and women's getting the rights to vote, that the combination of all those exemplifies and shows us that it can happen.
Yeah.
Like it's possible. It's out there.
Yeah.
We just kind of have to break those bounds that have been built up against us.
Right.
And it's like, well, we have our freedoms. We understand we have our freedoms. Give us our freedoms.
Yeah, right? Like, I don't know why you trying to play, because you know... You know you don't really hold nothing over me anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're catching on, bro, that I want to say it was Anne Rind who said, if you can't let a king chop off your arms and beat you with it unless you let unless you let him get close enough to chop off your fucking arm. Like, so I do feel like we are now in a place where we kind of are really beginning to know who we are. And yeah, I still think we need to be governed a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Technically, in 2019, we still need a lot of governing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, even though there's a lot of woke people, but a lot of the woke people are woke to the wrong shit. They realize we woke, but they're like, but they don't understand that the wokeness that they're spitting still has hatred and not great, has lower vibrations in it. And so even though they think they're doing something powerful, what's happening is that I feel like even though people think that they're doing something powerful, because the vibration has so much wobble in it, that's why the shit that's getting worse is as bad as it is. And they say, some people say that it gets worse before it gets better. Yeah. I gotta say that the other day I was like, I was filling out, what the hell was it for? It was for something, for like a campaign to get people like to, look at your stuff or whatever. And it was asking me if I was a male or a female. And I was like, okay. And then so I clicked the thing. And so normally it's like male or female, and then it might say other. You know what I mean? Normally it's like 3 little bubbles or whatever. And so when I went to click on the thing, a drop down menu came out. And I was like, wait, what? You know, what is all this? And it was like, I don't know, like a good 20 or 30 different things for people to identify with. And I was like, okay, now I thought that I was like cool and I was aware of some things. But when I saw this, I was like, I am not aware. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do not know. You know what I mean? This is a whole new era of life that people are like, yo, what was one of them? Was it a cisgender one? Now, may I ask you, I jokingly, but I'm probably dead fucking serious when I say that I identify as a gay man. Okay?
I can take it over here.
I'm a gay man in a woman's body.
Okay.
I accept you for who you are.
Accept me for who I am. You know what I'm saying? Love me anyway. When I was saying it first, I think that people thought I was joking, and now I kind of was. There was a part of me that, yeah, I was joking, but I did mean it because, and I promise you, whoever I am really not trying to offend any damn body. I just need to say that, because the other thing that's not cool is, even though, yes, we want to be so more inclusive with everybody, but now it's a little bit with the PC police where it's like, now you almost can't say what's on your mind. And something that I've realized is I can watch gay porn, and that actually kind of turns me on a little. You know what I'm saying? Okay. When I watch heterosexual porn, I'm like, I'm always like, why the fuck are you showing so much pussy? You know what I'm saying? That's You know what I mean?
Opposite for me.
Like,
It's, like,
can
it's
you
gotten boring right now. Like, I get it. Yeah, I know how it works. Thank you.
let me see the guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and you know, I get, you know, there's, you know, we'll just leave that part unsaid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the only part that I'm kind of like, well, maybe I'm not, because I like to watch Daily Poppin'. So Justin, who was on there, he was talking about being a gay man, and he was like, well, see, I know that I'm a gay man because I know how fast I like to drive the car, and I know the speed that I like to go, and I was like, ooh, maybe I'm not a gay man because I don't know if I'm ready for people to just be getting in my car trying to drive all fast and shit. You know what I'm saying? So when knowing that I feel that way, and I'm kind of wondering, so again, that would be this generation right here. So is it that we're becoming more accepting of who we are, and which is making us come up with all of these different definitions of titles?
Mm-hmm.
So may I ask you a question? Because I just confessed mine, even though I'm, you know, I look a female and I do identify as a female. I probably would not put it on a questionnaire that I identify as a gay man, just because I would not want to offend gay men. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But I'm just saying, like, if I was going to say that I identify with anything, that is what it would be, because yeah. So are you a male? Are you a female? Are you still figuring it out? What are you identifying as?
I identify myself as gender fluid, but I'm still figuring it out as I go with it.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to explain. So sometimes I would have masculine qualities. Some days I'd be like, okay, I'm a man. Like I do things that I guess gender roles are what typically men would do.
Yeah.
Or sometimes I would do feminine things.
Yeah.
Like, I guess, you know, your shower routine, taking care of your body. I guess so. Or like sometimes the way that I act, and sometimes the way that I talk, and sometimes maybe the way that I walk or anything like that. But gender fluid, I could at the end of the day be both masculine and feminine inside of the same body. So it's just like, once again, that fluidity, it kind of, I feel comfortable in that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's interesting, that as you're saying that, so the point of Manifest Beauty, right, is that we're being true to ourselves. And one of the things that I've always hated is I can't stand when somebody tries to put me in a box, because as a black female in America, if you're a female, like, okay, because I've had a lot of guys tell me that I think I'm a man. Because I don't think I'm aggressive, you know what I mean? Because I'm really not. But I am determined, and I do know what I want. And so I find it fucked up that the same way, okay, I'm going to break this shit down, right? The same way black folks, and even some white folks who hang out with a lot of black folks, will turn around and look at me and tell me that I'm white, or that that they're more black than I am, or whatever. I say to them, I'm like, so wait a minute. So you do realize that you're saying that because I'm not talking with a lot of slang, because I don't live in the ghetto, you're telling me that I'm not black. So in your mind's eye, they live in the ghetto and they don't have their shit together. And black people, you saying that about yourself. You realize that, right? When you look at me and you tell me that I'm not black enough, that's what you're telling me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's just so interesting that I feel like it's almost the same thing, even with the genders. Oh, you're assertive. You know what you want. Oh, well, then that means that you're a man. Oh, because you're a man and you're actually in touch with your feminine side, because you can have a ponytail. You can put a little lip gloss on. You can put a little blush on, a little mascara, make your shit pop. Oh, well, then you're a female. I mean, I get it, titles and everything like that, you know, because we're living. And so if you don't have some kind of title, then what the fuck are you talking about? Like, I get it, but it's almost like I cannot wait until we get to, and I do think we're going to get there, where we get to the point where people are realizing you're an individual. I don't need a fucking title. Do you feel restricted even in the title of being gender fluid?
let me put it this way. Being gender fluid is more freeing than being just identified as a man and whatnot. So it kind of expanded that horizon of myself, like that I want to be, that I feel comfortable with.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Oh, because because you know what? The titles, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
So even though titles will still box you in, but at the same time, titles make it an opportunity for those to come out.
Yeah. It's what I'm saying is it's better.
Yeah. It's better than just the male-female.
Just the male-female. It's kind of boring. It kind of just I have to fit into a gender role. Like I don't really have that kind of time for that. I already got enough to deal with. So.
Well, then does that mean that we need to give that Rachel chick, the white girl who was identifying as a black female? I don't remember if you heard that in the news a couple of years back.
Dolezal.
So don't we all need to give her a fucking apology then? Because listen, if a man can say that he identifies as a woman, then how are we saying that a white woman can't identify as a black female and she goes more NAACP shit than I ever have?
Yeah.
So like, how we gonna handle that though? Like, shouldn't one go with the other?
Yes.
I know you're almost wanting to say no, right? Because of the way, because you want to say because of your skin color, because it's something that you can't change, but you can.
Yeah. Okay. So this is an area that is gray area.
Yes, it is.
But I would say we haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah.
We're built. We have the blueprint, but we haven't gotten there yet.
Yes. I personally have always thought that as our issues with our sexuality and people deciding whatever it is that they are, as that is resolved, racism is going to have to go away. Because black people, white people, brown people, yellow people, purple people, you know what I'm saying? All colors of the rainbow. Yeah, okay. So no, we are all the colors of the rainbow. And as we realize that we're all the same colors of the rainbow, it's still the fucking rainbow. You know what I mean? I do think that as we get comfortable with our sexuality and exploring that and saying that I'm this and I'm this, then we will be more comfortable with stopping to say, because I get upset. And then when a white person says to me that they're more black than I am, I'm like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, we better get on this, this nationality fluidity real fucking quick. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I will. I'll go ahead and I'll say that I have that along with Justin as well. I might say that I'm a bougie, I would say I'm a bougie mixed breed. Because I ain't trying to be all white. Fuck all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a bougie mixed breed, female who identifies as a gay man. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Take that. Put it in your pipe and smoke it. How about that? You know? Yeah. And, but it's interesting because when you say things like that, I don't ever want to be taken that I'm like, even though it's funny, but I am serious. You know what I mean? Like, I really feel like we're totally getting it together. Mm-hmm. It takes a while, but I do think that we are totally getting it together. I don't really care for titles personally, just because I do feel like titles put you in a box. Mm-hmm. And because then it's people say, oh, well, he's gender fluid. And then they think they understand you because you've been given a title. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. Sometimes he feels like a woman and sometimes he feels like a man. And then now they have you all figured out. That is like that much. That is a millisecond of the wholeness of who you are. Mm-hmm. To boil you down and to say that your sexuality is your identity, or even the color of your skin is your identity, mm-hmm. is I just feel like it's the same as when we're trying to just say that, you know, God is in a box or God is just in these religions. Like, mm-hmm. those religions are not big enough to explain. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I feel free right now. I like legit feel like I need to like run down the street and just be like, I'm free! You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my gosh.
It'll happen for people who want to be open like that. It'll happen. Like, literally, you kind of hold yourself kind of mm-hmm. differently. Mm-hmm. Like, once you start exploring and once you start going out there and finding those, well, not finding a path, but kind of, you know, making your way through and, you know,
creating your path.
It kind of feels like, you know, you basically have the whole world in your hands, and you can do
Pretty
whatever
much.
you want.
So there you go. There you go. Enough said, right?
Yeah.
There you go. Enough said. We're about to all continue to blaze our own fucking path and have our world in our hands. Because isn't that the song? He got the whole world in his hands. Yes, honey, got the whole wide world in his hands. Yes, sir.
This is Sunja.
Yo, check it out. It's my girl Sanja.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, what up, Sanja?